Hi everyone, today I'm going to teach you about my tricks for sourcing vintage postage. You can find this in a lot of different places. If you're looking for one specific stamp in smaller quantities, definitely there's a bunch of sites on Etsy that I really like. Little Postage House, Verde Studio, Edelweiss Postage, Anticipate Invitations, just to name a few. But if you're trying to source it yourself, the cheapest place you can typically find large quantities of vintage postage is on eBay. But the question is, how do you search for it on eBay if you don't know what you're looking for? You can't just type in vintage postage and expect a really nice curated stamp set to come up. So you have to do that work. And there's a lot of things that go into this. You need to know the value that you're looking for. One of my favorite tips is to use a regular forever stamp that's at the post office now to get you up to, what would now be 58 cents. And then if you need more than that, you can use vintage postage to get the remaining amount that you need. So I love that because a lot of vintage postage doesn't come in really large denominations. So sometimes it's hard to get up. If you need to get to like 98 cents or higher, it's kind of hard to do that. So if you have a stamp that you like, and then you're looking for a few vintage stamps to add to it, how do you do that? So I head over here to Mystic Stamp Company. You'll want to find what's called the Scott number. And there's a Scott catalog, which includes basically every stamp that has ever existed and a lot of information about it. But to find that Scott number, you'd have to look through the whole catalog. You can order it. It's really cool. I love it. It's great to browse. But if you need to search for something specific, this is a little bit easier. So Mystic Stamp, go here. You can search by whatever you want. So if you want to only find a 15-cent stamp, because that's all you need, you can type that in and it will show a bunch of 15-cent stamps in theory. Yeah. Lots of 15-cent stamps. You can also search like a color. Let's see what we can find here. So if you're trying to match a specific color scheme, great idea. And then you can also search kind of a theme. This isn't going to always work every single time, but a lot of us are searching for like love, hearts, flowers, that kind of thing for wedding invitations. So I really enjoy that. You can find certain things. So for instance, this one is Pennsylvania. Actually, I think that one is by itself, but what you'll find, let's do state flowers. What you'll find sometimes is that a stamp that you like is part of a set of different stamps. Actually, this is a good example of that. So we'll stop this little search. Okay. So if we found this one right here and we really like this one, but we don't want to use any of these other ones, it's going to be tougher to find 100 of just this one stamp. So you might find that you can get a sheet of all 4 of these really easily, but it's hard to get 100 of this one. That's a case where I would definitely look into a curator who is on Etsy, for instance. They may have reason to buy this sheet as for 100 of them, separate them and sell them individually. Whereas it's going to be really hard for you to do that and find 100 individual sheets of this one stamp. So pay attention to that. So then once we find a stamp that we like, how do we figure out if it's expensive, available, etc.? You can look, so when you click on these, you'll find that they do sell stamps here at Mystic Stamp Company. I get mail from them all the time. Don't ever give them your address if you can avoid it. And this will give you kind of an idea of how expensive it's going to be to some extent. So if there's a lot of options here, if there's a lot of mint in package, really expensive options here, first day covers, things like that, if there's a lot of different options there, then you might have trouble finding that. That might be a sign that it's going to be pretty expensive. This one's 20 cents and you can get a single stamp for 55. It's not insane. This is not going to be the cheapest place to buy your stamps, and you definitely don't want to buy 100 of these. Also, this is used, so you definitely don't want to do that. A mint one is $2. I don't know. I don't think it's the most expensive. You'll see stuff on here that's really, really expensive. So if you get something that's like $17 for a 20-cent stamp, that's a sign that's going to be really hard to find and rarer. Or if there's a lot of different conditions, that means a lot of people are trading in this particular stamp, and you might find that it's going to be more difficult. But the only real way to know is to try and find it. So we ended up getting to that state flower search finally, even though we didn't need it. So I'm gonna go back to flower, and I'm gonna choose this one right here. So there's a few different versions of that F8 flower, but I just clicked on the first one. So what you're gonna see is all this information about it here, but what we're gonna know is this right here. This is the Scott number. It doesn't say it on here, but that's the Scott number. It's Scott number 2517, the year that it was released, 1991, my birth year. 29 cents, and the title of this stamp, the name of the stamp is the F-rate flower. So you'll see that this one doesn't actually say 29 cents on it, but since it's 29 cents, that's what it will always go for. So we're gonna take this information and we're gonna head over to eBay. And I have this special little formula that I'll put on screen here for you, and you can fill it in. So it's basically the word Scott, and then you put the Scott number right here, which we find at the top, so that's 2517. And then you'll put the year, 1991, the amount, 29 cents, and the name of the stamp, which is F-rate flower. And then you wanna put stamp sheet. So if you don't put sheet, what you're gonna find is just individual stamps. So sheet is gonna help you get those sheets of 10, 20, 50, 100 stamps. And as you can see, looks like I'm wrong here because there's a lot of single stamps here. But if you keep scrolling down, I tested this before filming, so I know that if I keep scrolling down, I'll get to actual stamp sheets. And that's what you're looking for, because most of the time we need a lot. If you only need 4, fine, buy them however you want. But if you need, this is a sheet of 100, and it's $24 plus $2 shipping, so that's gonna be 26 cents each. As a reminder, over here, a mint stamp was $1.30. So you'll be able to find this one, it's 26 cents each. They're a 29-cent stamp, so that's actually pretty good. It's really rare. It's really rare to find that. You're not usually gonna find them where you can buy it for less than they're actually worth, but this is a really good find. So you can find that on eBay. A lot of times if you click into these, it will also come up with kind of similar items, other things. If you go into this shop, where's the shop? This our Shoals stamp. They have 3,000 5-star reviews. They're probably going to have a lot of stamps in their shop. It's in the name of their shop, etc. You can see that we're finding it for different amounts. So this one would be $38, which would be 38 cents each. This one's $49. There's a lot of different options, and you might search something and find that you can't find it for more than, or for any reasonable amount. This one, I didn't do this before the video, so let's see if I'm right, but this one's kind of expensive. If I can find the right one, there's a lot of love stamps. Okay, this one right here is so pretty, beautiful for wedding invitations. Also, there's really cool stamps out there that you'll find. I end up buying a lot for myself when I'm on here. So let's try this one, and just as a reminder, it's called Love Series, Love Flowers, 20 cents, 1982 and 1951. I'll see if I can remember all of that. So Scott number 1951, released in 82. I forget how many cents. Oh, 20 cents, it says it at the top. 20 cent. And then it is the Love Series. I think it's Love Flowers. Yeah. Love Flowers. So this one is rated, or it's valued at 20 cents. And if you want to find a sheet of this one, this is a sheet of 50, and it's $50. So these are about $1 each. This sheet, getting me in bad territory, is $69. This sheet is $65 plus $3.50 shipping. So you can see this is gonna be a much more expensive stamp than that 29-cent one we saw earlier. Honestly, this one's more beautiful. This is one of the more beautiful stamps that's out there, especially for wedding invitations. But it is expensive because of that. And then here's a great example, just because I saw it, I'll go ahead and show it to you, of something. So if you were searching on Scott and you really wanted like a New Jersey stamp, because that's where the bride and groom are from, and you found this, so you might find something that's like New Jersey statehood that has all New Jersey stamps on the same sheet. But if you found this state bird, you might love that and think that's beautiful and match your suite, but it's going to be really hard to get 100 of those because there's 50 different stamps in this sheet. So if they like birds and they like these colors, this is a great sheet. I love this sheet. I use this sheet a lot. But if they specifically like New Jersey or this American Goldfinch specifically, then this is not going to be the best sheet for you. You're not necessarily going to be able to find that. Let's see, we actually don't have that many New Jersey options. But here's something that you could find that's like bicentenary statehood for New Jersey. if they're specifically looking for New Jersey, this is going to be a better stamp because it's going to be a sheet of just New Jersey stamps. So this is kind of my trick. I feel like it's weird calling it a trick because it takes a lot of work. It's difficult, and you have to, you'll find stuff where it's like, okay, I can get 100 of these for $72, and then I can get 50 of these for $12. And you might have to order from different suppliers and then add in the shipping. So it is really, really complicated. And then you still have to add up to the right amount that the client needs for their postage. So for this reason, I love using a forever stamp plus a couple add-ons, because then I don't necessarily have to add up to like 98 cents. I just have to add up to 48 or 50 cents, and that's going to be a lot easier and a lot less searching. So let me know what you think of this trick if you have any questions, and make sure you check out some of our other videos while you're here. Thanks, everybody.